So if I were to tell you that your bank account would stay exactly the same for the next 5 years, regardless of how hard you work, what would you change about how you spent your next Tuesday afternoon, your next couple of years? So I've been thinking a lot about the idea of this, I'll live later mindset. I can do that later. Work needs to come first right now. I feel like it's a deep-rooted conversation that drives a lot of people. Some people choose to run away from the work. Some people embrace the work. But everyone thinks that we can do something later.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And a lot of people think that when they get older, they'll have the time. But often what you hear from people when they are older is they wish they did what they wanted to. They wish they traveled. They wish they had more connections with friends and family. So this idea of a deferred life has been weighing heavily on me, and I'd like to discuss it. So if we're talking about careers, why does work become people's identity?
I think we assign significance to the usefulness that we bring to the world, and it's a good way to justify your existence. If you exist and spend all of your time, just lounging around, not doing much, building up mountains of debt while you're paying your rent and all of that stuff, buying like lavish things that you don't have the money to get, you have no usefulness to the world. Whereas if you have a job and that becomes a big part of your identity, you can tell people what you do and how you're contributing to society.
It's interesting, isn't it? The first question we ask people is what you do. What's your name? Oh, cool. What do you do? It's immediately what we ask, rather than, do you like what you do? Are you passionate about what you do? Do you see the benefit in what you do? Who are you outside of work? What makes you passionate? What do you live for? What's the reason you get up in the morning? You can tell I'm passionate about this subject, but it's true. Like, work becomes our whole identity, and it also becomes our main driving conversation because we spend the majority of our time there.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder why it becomes our whole identity when so many people actively dislike their work or are just completely apathetic towards their work.
Well, put it this way as well then. You made a good point. It's where we spend a lot of our time. Spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week doing anything, and ask somebody not to define themselves by it.
Yeah,
I think it's just exposure therapy to that thing. Is like all you're seeing 5 days a week, 6 days a week, if you work 7 days a week, is I'm me and I'm in this place. What is this place? This is my work. Rather than thinking passion first. They're not the passion maybe isn't the driving factor behind them even having the job in the first place. And therefore,
I get that, but if someone's job doesn't bring them joy, why should that be their identity? This is what I don't get, is so many people, like I said, actively dislike their work or are completely impartial to it, don't really care. I would say it's probably likely that people are in the minority of say they like their job. And normally you're surprised when someone goes, yeah, I love my job. You're normally taking a bit, oh, great, oh, awesome, yeah, what do you love about it?
Yeah. There's also a tinge of hatred towards them as well.
It's envy, isn't it?
What do you mean you like your job?
Yeah, oh, you like your job. Oh, no, job's bad. But you're right, we spend our majority of time there, so it's hard not to choose that as something to define ourselves with. But when you're actively not engaged with it, why would you choose to engage with it and identify with it?
Yeah.
Doesn't compute for me, man. So what are some better questions we could ask someone rather than, what do you do? Because we are asking someone to define themselves by something that maybe might be quite insignificant.
You could just add one word to the end of the question. What do you do for fun? Or 2 words. Counting.
What do you do for? Yeah, you're right. What do you do for fun? Yeah, that's nice. I like that. What are you passionate about? I quite like as well.
What gets you up in the morning? The problem is, if you are just meeting somebody and your first question is, what gets you up in the morning? It's, I don't know, is it making a leap? Is it breaking our our idea of how an initial conversation should go, and therefore would actually be more difficult to communicate with people if they that person just wanted, like, they were asking really personal questions straight away.
Well, this is the thing, is we sometimes have lost that ability to have deep, thought-provoking conversations. However, those people that do ask those questions, you remember them. And you remember the conversation and how it made you feel. And oftentimes it makes you feel quite special because someone has taken an active interest. You know, whenever I ask someone, if I ask someone, what do they do? My follow-up is always, do you enjoy it? Because I'm curious. Like, it's not like, oh, do you enjoy it? I legitimately want to know. And then someone says no, I'm like, well, what is it about it? Why don't you enjoy this? Because you're spending your majority of your time there. Surely you want to enjoy it? And then it gives the opportunity to explore, well, I've just got bills I've got to cover. It cover the way of life that I like to live. You know, it's a means to an end. I get all of those answers, but...
Could even just be holiday allowance.
Yeah.
I get 6 weeks holiday here, whereas wherever else I work was always 4 weeks.
This is it, but... What I'm worried about is when people put work as their identity and their ambition on the side. You know, the idea of this deferred life, I can do it later. I can live that life later. You know, I just assign with this identity for now because it's safe, it's easy, it's tangible, I can understand it. I can sell it to other people as well. Whereas starting your own business, going to travel the world, moving to another country, learning a new skill, another language, something that's off script, out of the box... It's hard to sell. It's a hard sell. And you might get a little bit of judgment for it. So this deferred life I've been thinking about a lot.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. It's because other people's perceptions of you come into mind, don't they? You're not really trying to have that deep conversation. You're trying just to not be judged in a lot of cases. It's easier for me to say I'm a musician than it is for me to say, or it's easier, for me to say that I'm employed by somebody, or I work on a cruise ship, than it is to say I'm a musician that plays on a cruise ship. It's like, you do what? Employed is always, and it's. I think that's because it's more relatable. People can relate to being employed. It's not common that you're self-employed.
Doesn't question the status quo of their day-to-day life. You know, the norm for them would be employed, whereas unemployed would be something not unnatural, but something different.
I also wonder how much status plays into it. So if you are really passionate about your work, you always want to tell somebody how well you're doing at work. Oh, I'm a manager at this place, or I'm a senior exec of this company, or I'm the CTO of this one. It's like, it's signaling status to those asking, because I think maybe what we're doing when we're talking to people, like, oh, what do you do? What are we hoping to get back from them? I think it's all sort of fact-finding missions to know where you sit in the social hierarchy.
I think it's judgment, isn't it? You want to know what they do so you know how to then approach them. You know, if someone says if they're a firefighter, an ambulance worker, they work in the hospital, they're a doctor, you're like, this must be a really great person.
For all of those, don't smoke indoors. That would set a bad impression for them.
Okay. Correct. But yeah, like, that would make your assumption that person is, this is someone to be admired, someone to spend time around, that clearly want to help the people around them. Whereas there might be some people that you tell them what they do and you then immediately judge them and go, oh, okay, maybe I don't want to hang around them. You know, there's the perception, I don't agree with it, but the perception that maybe blue collar workers, labourers in the UK are maybe not as educated as those that are in office jobs, which is technically incorrect because they're just educated within their field as per the people in the office job.
Yeah.
But again, you make that judgment of them. You know, if someone goes, oh, like, I'm a labourer, I'm a builder, I'm a window fitter, you probably go, oh, okay. Maybe a little bit rough, maybe a geezer. You start making assumptions. It's judgments. I think we want to typecast people.
Yeah.
Because we want to feel comfortable. We're like, I know how to approach you if I know how I think I can approach you.
Yeah. No, it's true. I think it may be an element of safety that's involved as well. If you walk up to someone, I'm a professional MMA fighter. Like, okay, I'm not gonna, say any of my dodgy jokes that I normally would towards you until I get to know you a little bit better. We're
gonna be friends.
Yeah.
And whenever I have an inconvenience with someone else, I'm coming to you.
You're the man. Yeah, but even so much as feeling like you're worth something. Maybe there's an element of comparison. It's like, I want to see how I'm comparing to this person.
Yeah, there's definitely comparison. I'd heard this thing. I won't say a poem is maybe the best way to put it, but it explained the complexities of being sort of 30s. That it's the age you realize that there's no timeline, but it's also the age where you realize timeline is a completely apparent, because some people are welcoming their second kid on their first marriage and they've already got their house. Some people have just moved back in with their parents. Some people are unemployed, still trying to work out what they're doing. Some people have moved across the world for love. Some people have started a business. Some people are getting divorced. Some people already have kids. It's when you realize that timeline doesn't exist, but also you start comparing yourself to other people's timelines, going, oh, well, that person's doing better in this facet of life. And it feels extremely overwhelming. Unless you're completely headstrong and you know exactly what you want, of course.
But I'd be pretty confident in saying most people don't, or still feel like they're figuring it out.
I feel like a lot of people just feel like they're children in an adult's body. Like I never thought when I was 30 this is how it would feel. I always assumed 30-year-olds had their shit together. And then you ask any 30-year-old, they're like, no, I'm guessing.
Yeah, this is what I think I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, this is what I think an adult does. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. Comparison culture, big time, comes into it.
But also maybe you're looking for people who are similar to you, so you can relate to them.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a YouTuber. Oh, I'm a YouTuber. What content? And then you're straight into a...
Has that ever come across for you?
Well, at LiveCon, but other than
that. Yeah. Pretty niche area for people.
From one room in the Google office.
Yeah.
I can relate to people.
You found your crowd. Oh my God. Yeah, I think work can become people's whole identity. And I'm not saying that's a negative at all. Because there's some people that clearly take a lot of pride in their work hard to become where they are within their company, within their business, whether it's self-employed or not. People can and should take pride in the work that they've achieved. However, I wonder how many people have attached to their work identity because they don't feel like they have an identity outside of work.
They've made it their sole thing.
Yeah, this is it. So you ask them, what are they passionate about? And they go, I don't know. What do you do on the weekend? Oh, I just got ready for work. Really?
It took 2 days.
Yeah. Like,
what do you do?
I
work on an oil rig.
I do know of a guy that works on an oil
Do
rig.
you?
Yeah, he makes bank.
Yeah,
he works 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. He makes bank.
Yeah.
But again, super smart guy.
It's dangerous as well.
Yep.
That job.
Yeah. I wonder how many people have attached themselves to their work identity because they don't have an identity outside of work. So they don't know what makes them passionate. They don't know what sparks them up and makes them want to do something. And, that unrelenting excitement of when you find your passion. I think there's a whole lot of... There's this joke of how do you know someone's in their 30s? Well, there'll be signs. They'll sign up for High Rocks, they'll join run clubs, they'll start going to the gym. When fitness becomes their whole identity, they've probably hit their 30s. Because I think so many people get to that point and they're like, I don't know. I've attached so much to the uni, to the career, to the friends I used to hang out with, and I'm just a bit lost now. And we feel at 30 we can't start again. But then we're scared to take the actions that might make us feel more grounded. So we just double down on this identity that we might feel completely detached from. When I was working in the office job, I'd get the train up to London. I always laughed that I looked completely different to any of the other commuters, all shirt and tie, briefcase, and I'm there with a baggy t-shirt, baggy jeans, hoodie, just laptop in a shitty
Look
bag.
like you're going for a day trip.
This is it, yeah. I look like a tourist. But it just, I had a huge identity crisis. 'Cause I'm like, is this me? Is this who I want to be? Is this the identity I want to assign for? But then I was like, well, the status comes with it. You're right. People do respect that status that comes with it. Yeah, I'm one of the senior sales guys at this big company. Oh, wow.
It just sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like I'm the best salesman of a global company. It's like, that sounds really good to be able to say, and it makes you feel almost proud of yourself when you say it. But the thing is, if fundamentally that's unfulfilling, it's like it has just as much weight as saying, I don't know, what's a non-respected job? I work at McDonald's.
This is it. It's whether you assign value to the job. And that's one thing I noticed when I went over to the wedding that I went to in the States, is people would ask what I was doing. I was surrounded by all different like walks of life, different ages. And I could see the difference in how people approach that question. The younger generation were like, well, yes, like, this is what I do. I'm really proud of it. The older generation were like, I'm really happy. I've got kids. Like, their identity had suddenly become their life rather than work. Because it's like, well, I've got kids. I've got a family. I love my kids. I get to take them to school every day. One friend was the manager for Justin Bieber for a while, tour manager for T-Pain. Like, he's done so many cool things. He stepped away from all of it because he wanted to be with his kids. He's like, I love it. So I feel like as you get older, you attach yourself more to who you are because you feel authentic. Whereas when you're younger, you're trying. I don't know, man. But yeah, I think you're right. I think you've got to be proud of the work you do to almost want to celebrate it and for it to be celebrated back to you. You love being a YouTuber, so you're proud to say it.
Well, it's also, I know it's the envy of a lot of people because they don't know what it's really like. So I can just lean on that.
It's wonderful. You would never understand.
Everyone wants to be a YouTuber until they're a YouTuber. Have a few bad months and it's like, okay.
Yeah, well, that's very much the case with a lot of fields, isn't it? People think they want the life but aren't prepared to walk in the shoes of the person that would do it.
It's every business. It's like you have up months and down months. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. It's the grass is always greener mindset. Something's always going to be better. So, well, maybe not. If you're not willing to do the work it takes to get there, you don't want the outcome.
And also, if the bad months are the end of you, you didn't really have the grit. You were just making, hey, well, the sun was shining and you can't do anything when it's nighttime.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this idea of like work, ambition, bargaining of I'll live later. There's a few other questions I want to get in before the idea of like postponing life, but why does working so hard still feel empty? Question that frequently came up amongst maybe young professionals, older professionals as well, but why does working hard still feel so empty?
I think it circles back to the reason why you're doing it. What's your why for you doing this job? Is it to impress your parents? Is it just so you can get a mortgage on the house that you want to buy? Is it just so you can fulfill your financial obligations? Is there actually any passion or desire to be in this industry? I think a lot of people maybe start off like, I'm going to get this intern job so that I can work my way up to be in this role. Suddenly 10 years later, they've only moved up 1 or 2 steps and they weren't really pursuing any of the others. And they're trapped, for lack of a better word. And it feels like it's shaking up your entire world. Like one of the biggest changes people have in their lives is a job change. It's like, other than relationships breaking down, divorces, and maybe buying a new house, it's like, what are the world-shattering or world-changing events? It's like leaving your job and getting a new one's a pretty high one up there. If you say to somebody, I've decided to completely quit this career and go to another one, people, it's a response of shock. Initially, it's not a response of like, oh, cool, yeah, nice.
It's because you're changing everything, aren't you? You've thrown away the known to go into the unknown, and we don't want the unknown. We want to crave and seek out the comfort. Yeah. I suppose as well, working hard brings that external validation, the money, the success, the status. And there might be a few things that come with that one, it might realize how empty you feel on the inside by getting such external validation that you realize, well, if this external doesn't make me happy, something must be fundamentally wrong with me, which is one thing. It's just like high functioning depression almost. But it's also like the arrival fallacy. So the idea that if I reach this specific goal, if I get to this amount of money per year, if I get to this promotion, I will feel happy. So again, it's treating happiness as the destination rather than the pursuit. And again, once you achieve it, that excitement will fade and the goalposts will move. And you'll never truly allow yourself that moment of happiness.
I wonder how much happier people would be, because we've said obviously gratitude is the key to happiness. But I wonder how much happier people would be if they could have almost a playful mindset when it comes to their life. For example, I've said before, when I got fired as an accountant and broken up within the same week, my initial thought was, oh, my life's over. It was the book just got interesting. That was my first thought. But it was just like how else do you approach that? Like, what is the positive spin in that? There's not really any positives. So the only way you can make it positive is this is the bad bit before it gets really interesting. And my God, did it get interesting? You know, it's just having that faith and looking at your life as like, oh, okay, this is just like the challenging chapter. What would the character do to get out of this?
And if you practice gratitude on the smaller scales day to day, when it comes to a big moment like that, you're better equipped. It's not going to make it easy, but you're better equipped to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I like this idea of treating life, I don't want to say like a game because that kind of simplifies it, but what would you do in a game? You would try everything. You would go speak to every character, every side quest that you could. Whereas in life, I think sometimes we forget that there's even side quests on here. We're just so double down on the main quest as go, nope, not going to level up my character in any other way. I'm just going to double down on this main quest.
Yeah.
And then you realize there's so many other fulfilling things along that quest. Sure, they might pull you away from that destination end goal, and you might not get there as quick, but you'll be so much more fulfilled having explored other avenues as well. And you might find a path that suits you better. You might get an answer to a question you never knew you had that question.
Yeah. Life is so interesting, isn't it? I think if life isn't interesting for you, you're living life wrong. That's one out to the audience. Like, if you aren't finding your life interesting, you need to do things that make it interesting. Learn something new that blows your mind. Because it's all out there.
Yeah, there's so much out there that can make life interesting. I heard when I was younger, only boring people get bored. And I used to find it as like a personal insult, but now as an adult, I find it quite inspiring almost. You know, if only boring people get bored, well, then I need to find a way to make sure that
I'm not a boring person.
I'm not a boring person. Yeah, I'm trying to do things. You know, maybe I need to try that pottery class. Maybe I need to go to the floristry class. Maybe I need to learn another language. You know, maybe I need to just try and level up in whatever way possible. You know, if you're treating life as a video game, you need to level up as many stats as possible. And how do you do that? Experiences.
Yeah, literally. We have a friend, his name's Erie, and he said, well, I think it was just before he turned 30 himself, and he was saying, I see every age as like another level. Now, every level is coming, whether you like it or not, but what can you do to level up your character as much as possible in the interim? Like, how can you make, like, this year, I'm going to learn way more stuff I learned last year. What can I do? What new experiences can I have? What qualifications can I get? What places can I go to? I found that really interesting. It was like, yeah, every year is a different level. And so if I'm working on things that I don't really care about the outcome, then I haven't really leveled up. I've just sort of moved laterally. I haven't increased in my sort of area of dominance, if you like.
Mm. Yeah, you want to find things that you're interested in. And if you're getting up every day and you're not interested in what you're doing, that's going to be a challenge for you. But treating each new year as an opportunity to level up is a great mindset to look at.
Maybe an equivalency people could use is, you know, the dread when you have to get up for school.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? All those years ago?
Hate it.
100 years ago for you?
It was a long time ago, you know. I had to fight the dinosaurs on the way to school.
Terrarisops?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, sure.
Terrarisops.
If you have the same feeling as that when you have to get up for work, you're not doing the right work for you. Because that's when I think back, like when I was an estate agent, like initially, first few weeks of the job, it was great. Like, wait, I don't have to be there till 9. At school, I had to be there at 8:30 or 20 to 9. It's like, oh, cool, I get an extra lay-in. But then it's like, 2 weeks, the honeymoon period's over. It's like, it's cold outside. I don't want to go. What can I do? Like, is it too early in my experience as a working man to call in sick? Like, all these things. Like, I never called in sick from that job, but...
And you're right, it's the honeymoon phase is over.
Yeah.
You know, the fourth wall shatters and you see the job and the monotony that comes with it. And if it doesn't legitimately inspire you, you might be in the wrong place. And there's not to say that I know actually a lot of people that their job doesn't inspire them, but they live rich and fulfilling lives outside of their career, which is awesome. Because that is not the bargain. That's not the I'll live later mindset. That is the I'm living now. This job is just That's what it is. It's a job. And that's awesome.
But I don't agree with that mindset. Just a job.
I get that for yourself because I know how driven you are to achieve.
No, but even take the achievement out of it. If you're not... Like, I genuinely think you can enjoy every minute of your day. If you're doing something that you're passionate about and you have hobbies outside of that, then you can't lose. Whereas seeing something as just a job, you're already writing off at least 8 hours of your day. So although people can compartmentalize, if you like, and say, oh, that's just work, but outside of work, I really live. It's like maybe they do secretly derive meaning from their job, but it's not an exciting job title, so they just say that. But I think for a lot of people who just think, oh, that's just a job. Like I met loads at Sainsbury's. Oh, no, this is just a job. Then I go home and I live my life. It's like, okay, cool. If you can compartmentalize like that. But actually, you might be more fulfilled doing maybe some of the things that you do outside of work, you could do as your job.
Yeah, I get the point you're making. I do. I think it's valid. I think there is an argument to be suggested that you would be able to live every day with some sort of meaning and purpose and enjoyment. Whether that person feels inspired to take it or not. But I think it's admirable to still have the hard work to go to a job that maybe doesn't inspire you to still live on the outside. Because whether it inspires you or not, there's too many people that live a job they don't like and then use that as fuel to not do anything outside of work. You know, the job is so draining. The job is so boring. I hate it. I have to deal with Mildred on the phone all day. You know, like it's just not inspiring.
Tired all the time. Weekends are for catching up on sleep.
This is it. So what did you do in the morning? Oh, I started work at 8, so I slept until 7:50. Then I just rolled over to the next room and started work. What did you do after work? Oh, I was so tired. Just sat on my phone for 4 hours. Yeah, cooked dinner and went to bed. You know, some people use it as an excuse. Some people use it as justification to live an uninspired life. Whereas some people don't, and they do go, yeah, like I know one guy, he's a funeral director. He loves fitness, all about fitness, and to be fair to him, he's wham and incredibly like fit. In the morning, trains. Evening, trains. Weekend, trains. That's his life outside of work, and the work is just it's just what I do during the day to just make money. It supports my life doing what I actually find passionate.
Pays for my gym memberships.
Yeah, pretty much. But I find that really admirable. You know, it's the headstrong mindset to be able to go, well, I know it's not for me, but it does what I want it to do on the outside. But again, is that a bargain someone's like taken of that I'll live later, or I'll justify one so I can have the other? Not, I'll have this slice of cake, so I'll put the other to the side bits. Well, maybe I can have the whole damn cake. Maybe I can get all up and in that frosting.
Nice.
Thank you. So yeah, maybe that's a bargain in itself.
Yeah, could be. And I think for those that can, as I say, compartmentalize it, it's a really beneficial thing.
I never could.
No, I couldn't.
I could for like a month. Sorry, not a month. Like 6 months, a year. I think I did for 2 years. But then again, I think because last 2 years have been so profound for me, that was what it was helping me with. But I think I could do it for a limited time. But after that, I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm destined for more.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's the thing, you know? And it was the same with me with accountancy. It was like, this doesn't feel like it's the end.
The gut feeling is this can't be all there is. That's the gut feeling. Because, let's face it, life is fucking wonderful.
That's your quote. There you go.
As much as...
I'll put that on the YouTube banner across the top. Connor quote. Will quote.
As much as life is draining, exhausting, hard work, there's a lot of sadness and fear in the world. A lot of, torment, a lot of wars. There's a lot of negatives. Life in itself is fucking wonderful. The fact that you're here is a miracle. The odds of you being born...
400 trillion to 1.
Crazy. The fact that you're floating around on a tiny little rock in space of hundreds of trillions of solar systems, let alone planets.
Yeah, galaxies even.
Galaxies is ridiculous. The fact that in 3 generations time, probably no one's going to remember your name. If that doesn't give you inspiration wild. To just do whatever the fuck you want. Life is wonderful. Life is fucking wonderful.
Even if you live in the UK, by the way.
Yeah.
Despite the weather.
To not want to make every day special And I get the mindset of like, well, if every day's special, every day can't be special. I get it. I understand it. But to not want to be grateful, to see the positives, to try and make each day something to remember, to go experience the four corners of the globe, to like eat as much of the good food as you can, to have as many deep conversations as you can, to feel every single emotion that is possibly on this planet, to start that business you've always wanted to get that career you've always wanted to. Life is awesome, and to just feel it's a means to an end is a bargain. And I don't know if it's a trade I want to make, and I might be wrong. I could very well get to 40, 50, 60 and be like, oh, fuck, I've messed up, you know?
There's no way you're saying that.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's a fear, but at least I know I would have tried to have lived as authentically to myself as possible and tried not to make as many bargains. Maybe that's what life is making as little bargains as possible.
Yeah. You're almost selling a piece of yourself, aren't you? If you're pursuing something that is not right for you. And the other thing is, you're the only one that knows what's right for you. So why are you letting everyone else tell you?
So easily said.
Oh yeah.
So easily said. You know, I saw one of my dad's friends at the gym. A really nice guy, in good shape for his age, to be fair to him. Yeah, very good shape. And I told him I was going traveling, and he was like, "What, again?" And the judgment I got from him, I was like, "Chill out, mate. It's not your life. Like, all right." But yeah, like, you get judgment from however you want to live your life, which is an argument in itself to play. If you're going to get judged from anything, you might as well do the thing you want. I get that. But when you're trying to find your own way, whether it's with or against the status quo, you're always going to get some sort of judgment. You've got to be quite headstrong to be able to continue on that path, even when other people don't see the actual path itself. They might just see a hedge that you can't even get through.
Also, in all aspects of life, do you know anyone in your life that has all the same hobbies as you? Probably not. And if you don't have the same hobbies, because you probably met a lot of them through hobbies, do they have similar interests outside of that? Then outside of that, do they want to do, go on exactly the same holidays as you? Okay, if the answer is no to any of them, how are they able to tell you, yes, but this is the right job for you, or this is the right career path for you, or this is what you should do? It's like, what? If jobs weren't a thing, would you be telling me what hobbies I should be doing? Like, no, you wouldn't. That seems crazy. But as soon as you put it in a job, it's like, everyone else knows best. It's like, no, they don't. There's millions of different jobs in the world.
It's an odd mindset, isn't it? Because you've got to find the balance between keeping yourself employed and safe and money coming in, but find the way to live that feels right for you, that you don't feel like you're sacrificing. One of my biggest fears, I've got a few. Two of them are quite mean, so I wouldn't ever say them on camera.
Fat people.
No, I'm not scared of fat people. No, I'm scared of getting old, and I'm scared of being overweight myself. But it's getting to like a later part of my life and not regretting things I haven't done. It is a genuine fear, and especially now that I'm blessed, I've got all of my grandparents around me. Super blessed. Although my grandparents on my mother's side are both getting old, and they can't now travel as much as they used to. And when I mean travel, you think I've travelled a lot. They've been around.
They did it when you had to row everywhere.
This is it. Yeah, we had to get a boat somewhere. Yeah. And yeah, now they're like, we can't do it. We're too old. We can't do it.
Send them to Ipswich. It's great. No, I love
they go Wales.
Oh yeah, there you go then.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So this question I found doing the research for this topic, and it seems pretty poignant considering the conversation we've just had. Am I trading my life for my career? That has been searched more times than I care to admit from the research I've done. Am I trading my life for my career? Now, I understand that is a broad question and we can't answer based on the person that's asked the question. We can only discuss maybe signs that you are or you are not. I suppose that's the only way we could ever come about this, but signs that you are maybe trading your life for your career. Persistent burnout, constant fatigue.
Yeah, or even just your perception of work being the cost of living. If I'm going to live, I have to work because I have to pay my mortgage, I have to pay my rent, I have to pay all my bills, I have to have a car that runs, I have to have clothes, I have to have food and water. Like, fundamentally, people are paying for those things with the time they spend in work, 9 times out of 10, especially if you're employed because you're paid hourly. Whether you're like, if you're on a salary, then you're paid, per annum, but you still have had to exist in that year and do work. I think people see their job as the cost of life. If you're going to live or you're going to have nice things, or even just things, you have to have a job or some way of earning income. And for most people, they leave college at 18, and if they don't go to uni, they're straight into the world of work, and that's just where they'll stay because it's the easiest way to earn, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month at age 18. And then once they're in that, it's really difficult to give up the $2,000 a month to stop earning. And so you're trapped straight away. Which is why I think it's so important for people in their late teens and 20s to save, because it gives you options. Like, my life would be completely different if I hadn't saved all throughout my late teens and my teens and my 20s, because I wouldn't have had, 10 grand in the bank to help fund me doing my nothingness journey. Well, I've told you before, I tried to do nothing for 2 months. It's impossible. So what do I fill my time with? I filled it with music, and I filled it with tennis, and I filled it with friends. So, okay, I need to do something to do with these. I decided that tennis got cold outside, so I was going to do music. Like, it's that simple. But there's no way I would have decided that music was going to be my career if I hadn't had that option. And so, yeah, save. A big tip for life is save in your late teens and 20, and actually all the way through life, because if you're listening to this and you're 40, then you can start now and you might be able to have some options in your 50s. Just the tiniest bit, like £100 a month. It adds up.
Yeah, it's very true. Having that safety blanket, so if you ever do feel like you're a little bit stuck, or you've got a lack of fulfillment, you feel stagnant, you feel bored, you feel burnt out, you're constantly tired and fatigued, you can take a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months off to explore what's right for you. Some people that might be traveling, some people that's meditation, some people that's nothing, some people it's moving town. Sometimes you need to, shake the ground under you a little bit, just to a safe degree, to know what's right and what's not.
Moving town is awesome. It's so good for meeting new people, having way different experiences, throwing yourself out of your comfort zone.
This is it. Put you out of your comfort zone. You've got to meet new people, because we are a community-based life form. I don't know why I suddenly went sci-fi. We are community-based life form.
We are community-based.
But we thrive under community and being connected with people and sharing in conversations like this. That going to a new place, you've got to then find your community. You've got to find your tribe. And that's easier said than done, but also it's quite easily done, because you can... What interests you? Tennis. Go to a tennis club. You like going to the gym? Great. Go to a gym. Go to a high rocks class. Go to a CrossFit class. You like pottery? Go to a pottery studio. You like music? Go to a music store. Like, there's so many ways that you can explore it together. It's great.
Yeah.
So maybe signs that you are fulfilled by your career is maybe that your values align with the company, or vice versa. I know we're answering if trading your life for your career, the signs, like I said, of neglecting your personal life, burnout, fatigue, also jealousy of others, or envy of others. You envy the work-life balance or the passion-driven roles of friends and family, or the freedom of travel from someone else. I get this quite a lot. Like, when I see people in Australia, I get really envious. I'm like, huge signal. Huge signal. But yeah, signs that your career is maybe enhancing your life is your aligned values with your company, with your self-employed lifestyle. It probably brings you a lot of satisfaction. It's why I've been thinking recently, maybe a career I'd like to get into is in healthcare, or as like emergency services or firefighter, because I like helping people.
And you look like a firefighter.
Thank you. I look pretty cool under pressure too. But yeah, I think that would be really freeing, and I feel quite excited for that, and I'd see the tangible alignment with my roles as well, my values, my role.
Yeah. And probably is a good job role to help you get a visa in Australia.
Yeah, maybe.
Mind you, you've said that recently you're quite happy in the UK, so it might come back and...
I'm enjoying the lifestyle I've got at the moment because we're super passionate about what we're doing here. I get to train as much as I love. I love training, you know this. And I get to see my friends a lot more frequently. If only this paid.
Which it will. So I don't see a world where this doesn't pay. Like this particularly last 2 months has really shown me like we can definitely do the thing. So it's just a matter of time now. And the thing is we're producing content 6 months quicker than we're releasing it.
Yeah, it shows if we really need to, we can. It also shows that if we really needed to, we could take 3 months out, just do this for 3 months, and then have 2 years worth of content.
Yeah.
And then just not do anything with it. But yeah, so you've got healthy boundaries with your work, personal rest time. You can focus on growth, not just like titles. So there's probably loads of ways to understand that your career is benefiting you. But one thing, I Googled this question in like the research for this, and I loved the answer someone gave. So I like exploring Reddit. I like going on like Quora.
Yeah.
And seeing some of the questions people pose.
Feels like real people answers, doesn't it?
Exactly. It feels authentic. Someone asked, how does someone know if they're on the right path in life? The answer someone gave, and I think it's beautiful. We can't be on the wrong path in our life. Ever.
Says it all.
We're always on the right path for us. Everything we do here is what's next for us. Is leading us in the direction we want to go in. Even the bad stuff. So no matter how much you hate your job, or have a poor family life, or don't have enough money, or have vast riches, or the best situation ever, it's all perfect for each of us. It's not about success or failure. Nobody wins or loses. Everything that happens here is perfect. If you can just get out of your mind about thinking about this, worrying about this, you won't find any helpful answers on this question. Just get out there and live your life.
Great. It's like a poem in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Call it life.
He wrote it beautifully. I love it. Really, really cool. So I suppose a question for people that maybe identified with the first part of that question. Why do I feel like I keep postponing my life for work?
Yeah, it's they're describing life like it's work like it's getting in the way of their life.
Yeah, right. Crazy.
It's like first of all,
what?
Yeah, like I don't fully understand because that's mental. It doesn't compute.
What? your autism ADHD is like, I'm sorry, what? That does not make sense.
No,
I don't know why you're a robot in this fantasy either.
This podcast is the podcast of robots, apparently.
Yeah, it is.
Talking about life, funnily enough, as well. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Shooting your gun in multiple different directions.
That is a little dance move I picture from
Snoop
Wolf
Dogg.
of Wall Street when they're in the wedding, and it's Jonah Hill's character. He kind of does it something like this, and I love it.
Brilliant. Such a good film.
Why do I keep postponing my life for work?
Yeah, it feels like work's getting in the way of your life. And your work should be enhancing your life, not just financially, but in terms of fulfillment and usefulness and utility. A good framing might be, like, for example, when I wake up in the morning, I'm still expecting every day somebody to like call me out and be like, "Well, this isn't a real job. Like, just stop it.
Grow up."
Yeah, okay, now it's time for you to actually do the work.
You had a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Now get a big boy job, put on a suit, work 9 to 5. Monday to Friday.
Yeah, because that would feel like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Whereas all of this just feels like
2.5 kids, a dog.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm like this, I'm like, has anyone noticed yet that I'm just
You're like sneaking
coasting
around
past life? But I think you should almost have that feeling. It's like I'm waiting to wake up. Like, when does this actually, where is it? Have I found the line yet? Am I near it? Yeah, I think that's probably a good approach. Like, if you're not feeling like, oh my God, am I going to get found out? Like, I'm just doing this. Then you should probably find something that's a bit more exciting. Now, I also understand that when I'm talking, I have a massive lack of credibility because I'm a young guy who, on the face of it, has never had to work hard. Like, the fact that my channel blew up when I was 24 is like, oh, well, Will was only 24 and but I'd like to counter that person who said that by saying, I have conversations with myself all the time, by saying, maybe I was lucky, yes, but at the same time, maybe I went and was an estate agent. I was a flips coach. I was a tennis coach. I was an accountant. I was a Sainsbury's worker. I've worked in a lot of different places, but quit early or left early so I could then pursue the things that mattered. Like, how many people have had 5, 6, 7 different jobs in different industries and then finally found the one that was meant for them? I think you can learn a lot from other people. I'm not saying necessarily my words that I'm saying are the exact advice for everyone listening, but I do think it's clearly this version of life does exist because I'm living it. So if I can feel that passionate, I'm sure I'll be that passionate about doing what I want to be doing, whether that's still YouTube, whether it's still music, whether it's tennis coach, no matter what it is, I will always be passionate about doing something. And I think that gives me so much energy. Like, you can tell when I'm talking, that will be no matter what stage of life I'm in. So if you're 50 and you're thinking, oh, I've always wanted to start knitting. Like, start knitting. Because you might find that it gives you so much passion, and you can take all your experience previously. There's no such thing as wasted time. We had a conversation about wasted time. It might have been filmed, it might not have. And yeah, you don't waste time. You have skills that you learn throughout your life. Time elapses no matter what. Everything you've been doing up until this point has contributed towards the person you are. So take those skills and apply it to something you're passionate about, and you are lethal. Whether that's lethal in terms of happiness, fulfillment, or money. Doesn't matter.
I like that, man. Yeah, it's true. People do feel like they're postponing their life for work, when in reality, life is constantly moving. They just need to find something that keeps them sort of as inspired as you are when you talk about YouTube. And you said there that people might rebuttal, but you look at other famous YouTubers, and I'm not saying you're on the same level as these guys, no offense, but like Mr. Beast, iShowSpeed, KSI, Joe Weller from our town, they showed consistent work and output. And it's easy to poke holes in people that achieve some degree of fame and success because people like to put the blame that they could never do it. Or, I'm not capable of that, so I need to diminish their returns. But you're right. You have worked hard to get where you're at, and you do deserve the recognition for it, and you are living a life that you're grateful for. I know it's got its ups and downs, but I know on the whole you're extremely grateful for it. Whereas people postpone their life for work, sometimes they don't have a connection to their future self, like you said previously. It's hard to prioritize future self over present self because it can lead to putting off immediate decisions for the sake of the outcome in the long term. But it can also mean if you're not attached to who you are in the future and you don't know what future you want, you don't know what decisions to make in the present. So again, it's like a flip-flop. I think as well, some people might just be lazy, but I think it's rarely to do with that.
I think maybe people aren't lazy, but they have the same symptoms because they're just beaten down by life. Like, for example, if you've been in the same job for 15 years, that's pretty much all you know. So you've almost trained yourself to not think outside of that box. You think, oh, work is being an admin assistant. That's what work is. I can't even picture a world where I would be a tennis coach or a greengrocer. I can't picture any of those because I only, like, when I think of work, I'm straight. I can put myself in my desk, in my office. I know exactly where my screens are. I know everything is. I know the people around me. I know the types of people that would be in the office. It's like, no, you know the types of people that would be in that office, and you know what your desk looks like in that situation. It's like, you might not even need a desk in this other job that you're hypothesizing. You know, there's so much in life, and yeah, just keep your eyes open.
And there's no such thing as wasted time if you're doing something you enjoy. Really. Again, from Reddit, there was a whole thread of people arguing, like, is there such thing as wasted time? And the kind of overarching thing was, no, there's no such thing as wasting time if you're doing something you enjoy. Of course, it's Reddit, so there was comments like, yes, I agree, but also I think it would be a shame to spend 60 years scrolling Reddit and masturbating. I was like, well,
I disagree.
depends on the Reddit stream, doesn't it?
And also, if words get you off like that, my God.
But yeah, there's no such thing as wasted time if you're doing something you enjoy. However, if you're doing something that feels monotonous, like you are postponing life, I think even if you're asking that question, you're likely already on the right path to finding out that you are postponing life.
It's quite a self-aware question, actually, isn't it?
Yep.
It sounds quite closed, but to have thought of that question, you know there's more.
You know there's more. You've realised that you've already pushed away this more, and you're readdressing if something is wrong.
I think also maybe the person's just looking for outside validation that it's okay for them to want that.
Yeah. I think as well they're looking for outside validation that what they're doing is arguably correct. No, you're doing the right thing because you're working hard. By society standards, you're doing great. But then they might get massively reinforced by the people that actually encourage you to do what makes you happy. Follow that little nagging voice inside your head. The one that says, yeah, run off to Papua New Guinea. Do it. The one that says, join a brass band in New Orleans. Do it.
Yeah.
Become a marine biologist. Quit your job, go back to uni. If you're feeling like you're asking that question, chances are there's something you want to do. Whether you realize it or not, whether you know what it is or not, whether you're happy to face it or not. And I'd rather spend my life, I don't know if this is anyone listening would agree, but I'd rather spend my life trying to find what I'm meant to be doing than doing one thing knowing it's not right for me. But then you've got the other side. Is ambition costing me my present life? So you could have ambition in terms of career, but you could also have ambition of trying to constantly chase the more and the new and the better. So it's a double-edged sword. Yeah.
That's a difficult one.
Is my ambition costing me my present life? So it's again another question, but the way I look at that is actually similar to, and this might be how I've interpreted this commonly Googled question, is similar to the first one, where why do I keep postponing my life for work? Is my ambition for the new job, for the shiny external validation, costing me my present now? Might be. You know, if to get that promotion you need to work 2 hours overtime every Friday or come in on weekends, probably is, bro. Because guess what? It's probably going to be the same when you finish and you get that job.
Yeah. The other thing is your ambition costing your life? It's like you could be living in the future before it happens, so you're not enjoying the present moment. You're too bit, and this is probably my problem, to be fair, is I'm thinking so much about 5 years' time, 10 years' time, I forget that it's okay to maybe, go to Bali. That's why I booked it. For those of you who don't know me, my girlfriend had booked a holiday to Bali, which we're very fortunate to be able to do, and we're meeting up with this guy when we're out there, and that is something that we've put off for the last 3-4 years being together, because we've been, when we've got this much money, or when we've got a house, or when we've got this, you put stumbling blocks in the way just so you hit them.
You're also moving the goalpost every time. We'll get it when we have 10k in the bank. Well, we got that now. Oh yeah, but probably be safer if we have a little bit more. Okay, we'll push it over. But we probably should, spend a little bit of money to make the house a little bit nicer. Okay, so we'll do it. You just move the goalpost, don't you?
Yeah.
This is what's happening. And I'm not saying that's you specifically, but...
No, it's a human condition.
Yeah, we move the goalpost. We try and say, I can have it later. And then the reason you said you can have it later arrives. But it's like, no, I can't justify it now. There's always going to be a reason to not do it. Always going to be a fucking reason not to do it. Guaranteed. No time is ever fucking perfect to change your life. No time is ever perfect to take that trip, to leave your job, to move across the country. No time is ever perfect. Sure, sometimes are more favourable than others. I'm not an idiot. I know that. But if you want to change your life, the only person that's going to make that happen is you. Make the time perfect. Don't wait for the perfect time. And I guarantee you won't regret it. And ultimately, as well, Say you make a mistake. Say this experiment goes wrong. Could you come back to your normal life? I think a lot of people probably could. Could you just slip back into the life you've got now? Arguably. I know I could. Obviously, I've left my job. If all of this backfires and I hate travelling, I don't want to go to Australia.
Podcast implodes.
Yeah.
Don't even know how that would happen.
I can go straight back to where I was. I wouldn't even miss a step.
Yeah. I think people forget that life is a continuum, not a sort of... Everything you've done up until now has just been deleted. That's not how doing something out of the box works. You can still always go back into the box. Like, a box is just a square. You can just walk back into it, you know? But stepping outside of it, you have the rest of the universes worth the room to explore. Like, because when we were talking about all the experiences they have outside of just staying in this box on Earth. We haven't even mentioned going around our solar system yet, or doing crazy things, you know, stuff that will be possible in 15, 20 years. It's like, there's so much, and people are like, I'm just going to stay over here.
You know, my small town where everyone knows each other. I see the same people I went to school with. Oh, and they've had kids with other people who went to school with, so their kids will stay in the same town. Yeah, that Waitrose has now changed to Sainsbury's. Oh, maybe the town's getting a slightly new upgrade. But you can drive around the town like it's the back of your hand. You know where every road is. You know where everyone lives. That's not going to change. And you're not going to change because your environment's the same. If you want to change as a person, you have to change your environment. There's a reason there's this joke of like people go traveling and they become woke. Well, yeah, there's a reason, because they've looked at different cultures, communities, tried new foods, had new conversations, and their horizons have broadened.
Yeah. If you go somewhere and the people who have the most fun in the village are the fishermen, you come back and you look at the fishermen and you're like, oh, cool. You know, I get it now. Like if you go to Manhattan, the people that are the most, you know, successful there, it's like, okay, well, I sort of understand their perspective from being in that situation. Like I can now relate to X or relate to the other person, you know, or I value the peace of mind I have in my life, you know. Yeah, people need to just keep their eyes open.
Agreed. Yeah, rather than living life in that box like you suggested, take a step out of the box. Go to a new town on a day off. Go to a new restaurant. When we're talking macro changes, but you can have tiny ones too. You can go to a new restaurant.
Change your cereal.
Yeah, this is it. Flip your routine upside down. Go to the gym in the morning instead of the evening. See what happens. See what people you meet. Start a conversation with that stranger on the train station. Talk to your gym crush as they're leaving the gym. It's a great one, that one.
It's a good one.
There's so many things you can do on a minor level to just have profound impacts. And one thing I've always loved is you are one decision away from changing your life.
Yeah, literally. That's it.
Like, it's ridiculous when you think about it like that, isn't it? Like, you are one decision from changing your life.
Wild.
Yeah. For better or worse, I get it. But one decision away from the life you've wanted. One decision away from happiness. One decision away from pursuit of happiness. One awkward conversation away from meeting the love of your life. One awkward decision away from the best, travel trip you've ever had. One long, uncomfortable, phone call with your parents that fixes that relationship. So a common question: what am I waiting for before I let myself live? Because God knows people are waiting for the right time. Quite a common human experience, but likely rooted in fear, perfectionism, desire for control rather than lack of motivation. But psychologists suggest that instead of a concrete event, you're likely waiting for a feeling of safety, certainty, or readiness that rarely arrives on its own. So, what am I waiting for to let myself live?
all of those things. I mean, before you said that, I was thinking to myself, I think they're just waiting for somebody else's approval. It's like if somebody else says it's okay, the blame is halved. That mentality. And that's why there's never a right time, because you're not waiting for time. You're waiting for somebody to say, you know what would be great? How about we go to Bali? Which is what you did for me. And I was like, yeah, cool, let's go.
Everyone needs a Connor in their life that's going to subtly stir your cereal and then throw it back in your face. Come be friends with me. I'm reckless.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Available at www.connor.com.
That'd be the best URL ever. Oh my God. I'm going to see if it's available.
I want to see what's on it. Yeah.
I'm going to go GoDaddy. Wait, so www.connor.com.
Does anything come up or is it 404? Porn site?
No, it's contoyeah.com.
That's very appropriate.
Okay.
You would happily, you're definitely a yeah type of guy.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's the the idea of the perfect moment, which is a myth. You know, you might be waiting for a time where you have enough money, the right partner, a better job, fewer problems. The reality is that perfect moment does not exist. Life is inherently messy and chaotic. Problems are a feature, not a bug. There is never going to be this time where everything aligns and suddenly you're on this ship and the sailing's smooth. You're like, oh, I'm going to take that trip. That's never going to happen. If you're waiting for it, you're going to be waiting the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's nothing else I can say that would make that more profound other than you will be waiting the rest of your life for that perfect moment. I think people lack confidence.
It's being the decision maker. I don't think people are used to having to make decisions because day-to-day life is not that taxing. It's like, when was the last big decision you made in day-to-day life? When you were working in the job, what was the big decision that you made? Like, you didn't make one until you decided to leave the job and go travelling. It's like the day-to-day decisions. Oh, what am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to train in the gym today? What am I going to have a rest day? Okay, cool. Where am I going to go this weekend?
Yeah, I like that. So I got some actions on how to start living now. Action precedes motivation. Do not wait to feel motivated. Start taking small actions and the motivation and energy will follow. The 5-second rule. If you have an impulse to act on a goal, physically move within 5 seconds before your brain stops you. Small steps. Focus on small, manageable actions instead of large, overwhelming changes. And shift should to want. Stop focusing on external expectations, I should, and start asking yourself what actually feels right for you. The one thing as well I do want to sort of caveat as we're getting to the end, if you are feeling overwhelmed, trapped, hopeless, and feeling a little bit untethered, unsure, reach out to some professional help. You've obviously got your friends and your family that will love and care for you. I hope so. If ever you feel like you're alone, I promise you're not. But reach out to a professional that can help guide you through this. Talk your thoughts back to you.
Or even a group of friends if you can't afford therapy. Like, friends can be really good, especially if you deeply trust them.
What do you think happens if work is your only source of meaning? Just want to throw that in at the end.
If work's your only source of meaning, like, you're not living your life, your work is living your life. You need to have hobbies and interests outside of work, because otherwise you are just very one-dimensional. It's like you aren't experiencing life to the fullest.
Imagine if you got fired.
Yeah, it's world
or your company went under. Your life would be ruined. You'd have an inability to disconnect, I suppose, as well. Like, if work is your only source of meaning, you don't have any partners, friends, any external hobbies, how would you disconnect from that? You know, when I used to finish work, I couldn't wait to get to the gym or see friends or go out for some food. But if work was the only thing I did, I wouldn't want to do any of those things, and I wouldn't have a partner to connect with. I wouldn't have friends to connect with. You'd be extremely isolated. Right, I know this episode we've both been pretty passionate. Bizarrely, more me than you, which is rare. Normally, it's the other way around, and I kind of just rein you in.
It's true.
But what's been your takeaway? What is something you wish people would maybe take home with them? What's important for people to remember from this highly passionate episode of this idea of like a deferred life? And we've not even really touched on the idea of deferring life and how that feels, sounds, and acts. We've kind of danced around the subject and idea of work-life balance, but what would be a key takeaway?
I think just keep your eyes open to the opportunities life is giving you. It's so easy to say, oh, no, I'm this. Like, well, that thing clearly exists because it's talking to you. So give it some attention.
Like that, man.
What about you? What's your takeaway?
I would say follow your passions and stop waiting for the perfect time. Because if you're waiting for the perfect time, you're going to be fucking waiting forever.
And approval, I suppose. Stop waiting for approval to do the thing.
Yeah.
So you can just do it.
Can just go. Make a life that you want. And also, I suppose I should throw in my quote that you said is going to be my one. Life is fucking wonderful.
Nice, good way to end. Well done, sir.
On the script.
That was a great